Now, the way I like to begin our talk is about getting grounded, about getting settled, and about putting ourselves into the proper mindset to both share and receive. So we're going to go through the abundance and gratitude meditation. Jody, you have it handy, or you want me to read it?
I would defer to you again. I don't keep that on my tape.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Ready? Okay. Thank you, God, for all the challenges in my path, knowing they are all the right challenges at all the right time to help me grow and to become more. Thank you, God, for pushing me outside of my comfort zone and making me stronger. Give me all that I can handle, knowing that I am strong. I am worthy. With my loving family, friends, and support team, I can overcome and learn from every obstacle. No challenge is too great or insurmountable. I am worthy. I deserve unbridled happiness and abundance, and am thankful for each little moment. I am strong. I am beautiful inside and out. I attract heart-centered go-givers into my world because I am serving with spirit while doing your will. I will grow smarter, faster, and learn to trust the special friends you've placed in my path for guidance and accelerated learning. In your name, I will continue giving my time and talent and treasure from the heart to help transform the lives of others by using my special gifts. The world needs what I have to share. Help me continue to attract those who are open to receiving my gifts. Keep me humble and open to learning. In your name, I will continue to be a generous giver and an excellent receiver, so that others may experience the joy of helping me too. Thank you, God, for this day and every moment I breathe. May I continue to wash away the limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts from my past, and know that the answers are indeed deep within me. I have the power to manifest my highest desires without greed, without fear, without desperation, or living in a scarcity mindset. Thank you for all that I have and all that I promise to work on in my mission to make the world, my world, a better place today and for future generations. Amen.
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 So, Doris, welcome to the challenge. I appreciate having you here. Thank you for joining us. You had safe travels back home?
Yes, I did. I was just out of town again, so I could not join from the beginning.
That's okay. We've been sharing most of the, one day the recording didn't quite work, but we've been sharing the recordings and the emails, and they're also hosted in the...
I just saw the second day. I didn't find the others.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, if you can check and I'll look again too, just because...
Where do you have them on Rock?
So in the app, when you registered for the challenge, you went to rockonsuccess.com/planner. When you go back to that now, it should put you right to the second page where the behind the magic wall where the content lies. So I would suggest go ahead and try that, because that should work. I just switched over my email system this week. You know, it's always like a moving train. There's never a perfect time. So I switched to ConvertKit. And actually, I've been really, really pleased. I haven't heard too many boo-boos or crazy things. So, so far, so good for the most part. But if something's not working, as always, please kindly let me know, because the only way to get better is by, you know, knowing what's not working for yourself or for other people. So thank you for letting me know if you check. But if you do go to the rockonsuccess.com/planner, which is how you registered for this challenge, there is, I literally posted the day 1 and the day 3 videos are up there. And just to give you a little recap of yesterday, we had a pretty enormous breakthrough with Mr. Matthew here on the phone. It was Joe, Matthew, and myself. It was a little bit quiet as far as number of people, but we opted to take the time and really do some serious digging in, because Matthew was squirming in his seat in the beginning. I say that in a nice way, Matthew, but we could tell you were very, you seemed frustrated and you seemed uncomfortable at that point, like wanting to find it, but it wasn't quite there, kind of a little bit of struggle and a little bit of squirm. So we worked with him, and actually we picked Joe's brain and did it more as a collaborative brainstorm. And by the time we got off the phone, we actually helped Matthew find his niche and come up with a new brand. And literally all the way through finding his URL that was available and things like that. So it was a pretty cool and pretty awesome learning, I think. And Matthew, you can certainly comment on it. I'd like to hear how it went when you got off the phone, because one of the things I challenged him, Doris, is I threw some work at him, because it's always about, it's not just showing up, it's showing up for yourself and what you both feel when you walk away and what you do when you walk away. So, you know, Matt has the option, it's his choice in life, and I didn't know if he was going to walk away and be like, oh my God, that was exhausting and I'm not sure and scared about it, or walked away feeling like he totally nailed it and ready to take on the world. So give us a little bit of, Matthew, where you're at and how that worked for you, and what you've gotten done and where you want to head, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I had a conversation last night with another person that's in the Free Sessions of Cell community, Instant Miracle community, and I was saying that. She was like, "Yeah, totally." And it was, I feel comfortable, or saying I can eliminate physical pain through emotional processes only in this small circle of the community of this coaching stuff, but I didn't feel comfortable saying that out into the regular world, right? So I felt like people would look at me like, that's weird, what are you talking about? I don't get it. And so yesterday, we were able to get to the heart of what I really want to say and what I really want to do, and we brought together some passions of mine and some interests, and we found a way to move right past those fears of sounding woo-woo or weird or whatever. And we combined my interest in healing physical pain through emotional processes. We combined my process of wanting to be a relationship coach and my my interest in helping people with PTSD. And suddenly, Pat and Joe were like, "We can see it. Can't you see it?" They didn't say that exactly, but "We can see it. You are helping people in relationships affected by PTSD, coach." And I was like, wow, that's what I am. I love that. I can say that. That's real. That doesn't sound crazy. I help people who are in relationships that are affected by PTSD. And I can say that. I can say that to anybody. You know, it doesn't make me cringe. It doesn't make me wonder what they're thinking. I'm not saying I'm a life coach, which sounds like like a hippie in LA, jobless kind of guy, or whatever kind of things that brings. Don't want to really tell people I'm a life coach. So this is something I want to tell people, and this is something I'm happy to move forward with. It was a great breakthrough. And yesterday I went to sign up for my new brand, and I had a little blockage on signing up for this website, this domain name, and it's a stupid little blockage, and I'll go take care of it today. But it was like it said, I want to do PTSD Healing Circle and brand that, and it's available on Facebook as a group. It's available on, Pat helped me find out, it's available on Twitter, the name. It's available having .com, .info, .net, .us, all those things. A couple of things that that slowed me down yesterday when I went to go lock in those domain names were those domain names. It said, it was going to be $17 for the bundle, and it was going to be this. And then when I went to go pay for it, so it was going to be $42. And I'm like, I got to call the GoDaddy people, and I got to find out why the price jumped and why the bundle didn't come in at $17. Anyway, that thing.
Multiple years. I think it probably defaulted to multiple years. That's what happens if you pay. If you look, because I had that happen once. And
then when I went to 1 year on the .com, it just went down from 17 to 11, and that was okay. And I didn't mind the .com being $17.99 or whatever it is. But it's the others, all the whatever they are, .info, .us, .org, whatever the combination it was, that didn't seem like they were adding up to 17. So I came to think that the .com is one price and the bundle is the 17. But when I went to pay, it was coming in at $11.99, $9.99, $3.99, and something else. And I'm like, that's not adding up right. Even if I was 17 plus 17 plus the ICANN thing should be like 35, and I'd be cool with that. Anyway, I'm like, what's 42? I can do 42, but then I'm like getting a little bit hung up about the word healing. Is that okay to use healing? Is that a medical term? Is that suggesting that I have medical advice? No, that's not. It's not a medical illness, so it's okay. PTSD is not considered a medical illness. So anyway, still happy with the healing circle. Love it. And then when I went on Facebook to start a group, it said add at least one friend, and that was late last night. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to add a friend. Who do I add to start this circle? And like, I feel like I should ask permission from a friend before I add them. And then that was a little blockage for me. Like, how do I add somebody? Like, I could add my wife. That would be easy, but I didn't ask her.
Okay, so let's stop you here.
Anyway, all that stuff is still sitting right on the plate right in front of me.
Okay,
I consider that to be not a big problem.
Thank you for sharing. I'm glad you're excited. And it's not unusual to have little blocks. It sounds like overall you're comfortable with your direction. I appreciate that you're paying attention to the math of what you're doing and not just spending money frivolously. But at the end of the day, just GoDaddy's really, you don't have to use them. You can use anybody to register. It just sounds to me like what happens is they're not all the same price, and it's not that price every year, but it's that if you lock it in for X amount. So just call them and let them work you through it. But the most important part is that you feel comfortable that the PTSD Healing Circle represents you and what's in your heart and what you want to do, and then you're going to now go out and build that program. So don't get stuck in the details unless you're using the details as an excuse because you're not really yet happy or comfortable. You want to be clear on which of those two things it is.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a good question. I love PTSD Healing Circle. I was thinking about some other ways to say it, and like PTSD release or PTSD deactivation or PTSD, different kind of things. But in the end, I like the Healing Circle the best of all the things I've thought of. I thought deactivation was kind of cool because it kind of sounds like a military type of word, and a lot of people from the military have PTSD. But anyway, in the end, I do love the Healing Circle. It is clear, and it seems like it would be an easy thing for people to find, which would be the most important part, is like how would they search get rid of PTSD? I don't want to have like the get rid of PTSD group. That doesn't sound as cool as the PTSD Healing Circle. So I'm still happy with that, and I think those are just minor blocks, and I'm still loving the name.
Right. So at the end of the day, what I suggested yesterday, and I still think, is that if you like it or think you like it or love it or maybe love it, I would still $40, $50, $100, $200 on that type of real estate is worth never having to worry that it's not there for you if you decide you want it. So I would, at a minimum, lock in the one.com, but I honestly, or just buy them for 1 year for now, but I wouldn't. That's a small detail in the scope of if that's going to be your brand you want to build for the rest of your life, or even if you just want to be able to have it as a selection for you to choose from. Because I probably own 25 websites right now. I don't have them all built out. They're not all active, but rockonsuccess.com forwards through to my other website. And I'm telling you the story because I lost my original company name is Business Boomers Incorporated in the United States, and there was a 1-day gap in my renewal. I missed it. And guess what? Somebody went in and stole my brand name. So my URL for my company, my corporation that I've owned since 1988, is not available to me. So penny wise, pound foolish. I wish I would have spent the extra money and just had it sitting there on the shelf. So if that helps you, yeah. I would lock and load and have it there. Because in the grand scheme of picturing 5 years and 10 years from now, you're going to be happy that it's yours.
If I can make a comment.
Yes, please do.
I've heard the term or the word block a few times. I don't see this as blockage. One of the fun things about a new endeavor is having to address certain issues. We don't want them to slow us down, but I look at it as a farm. It's a one-room house. You have the stove, the john, and the bed all in the same room. But as your family expands, you add on. And you may not know today exactly if you're going to go east, west, north, or south, but as Pat is saying, get that core room in place. And then you can add on the other things as time justifies. You can modify it, decorate it, but get it started. So I like the word challenge rather than block.
Focus and action, right? Because otherwise you're still unless you don't love it. If you don't love it, don't proceed. But if you even halfway love it, lock it in. Even if you spend $2.99, lock it in and stop getting ready to get ready. And see how you feel tomorrow when it's done. Because you just wasted another hour and a half. Like, that's time you could have been spending on something else. It would have been done. Right.
Yeah, so I feel good moving forward on that today. I'll get that done today.
Okay, so let's address the other half. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was just going to say that I listened to your first hour video about making your rock star profile on LinkedIn, and I didn't alter my profile, but I learned a lot from that.
You need to alter your keywords. I
didn't start asking open questions yet. Yeah. So I felt like I learned a lot about that. And then there's another video still to watch about that. And then there's the program that I didn't come up to yet with the $97 program you're talking about. That I'm looking forward to getting to that point. And I haven't reached out and done the open-ended questions as far as, what are your interests and concerns about PTSD, around PTSD, relationships type of thing. So that's on the plate. That's on the to-do list type of thing.
Terrific. So let me give you a quick next step. What you should do is, if you're going to start, you know how to create a Facebook group?
I got that lined up, and I just went to the buttons, and then it said I wanted to send it in, and it said you have to add at least one person, so I didn't add anybody, but I'm like right there.
Okay, so you can add me. How about that? Anybody else here willing to be added? There you go.
Add me also.
Okay, so there you go. You got a couple people in your group.
Thank you.
Yes, being respectful is always key. We never want to spam anybody in this life because life's too short and you only want to be with people who want to be with you. But for all of us, one of the fastest things I would do is say, super excited, just landed on my brand. I've got the URL. I'm starting this Facebook group. It's brand spanking new and it's my first time. Can I count you in? Would you like to help me at the, lock arms at the beginning of this journey? Something simple. Simple. Enthusiasm, you're going to be building it, and because you need, I believe, 30 people. You can customize the URL. There's little milestones in building pages and groups. So just tell people, especially if you end up going into other PTSD, groups, right? Where you already know that for the most part, you're talking with people who are in that space. My friend Teresa that I introduced you to, Teresa Byrne, that you guys were commenting together, she's a PTSD sufferer also. What's the word? Is it survivor, suffer? I'm not sure what the word is, the frame, but you're going to want to get around comfortable with whatever that is, how you're describing it. Vernacular.
Right.
Okay? Does that help you?
Right. That does help.
Matthew.
That's
Way to
great.
go. Doris.
Thank you.
I want to ask Matthew, do you know about Paralympian? Have you heard of that?
Yes, I'm part of Paralympian, and I just have to do my group practice clients, and then I'll be certified. I've done everything else.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. Thank you for asking that, Doris. So part of where we hit an aha moment with Matthew yesterday was because he signed up and is doing the Paralympian certification for post-traumatic stress, but he was working on a brand but never told us about that piece. And we were trying to figure out why he was feeling this unrest around his brand, and it was because he was feeling like that was one and this was separate. And once we gave him, I'm going to say permission, that's not the right word, but once we gave you that aha moment of it really should marry up, he's now building a personal brand, and the PTSD Healing Circle is now Matthew's brand, right? That can still be leveraged with the Paralympian effort and give him his own space to deliver in his own way. So he's not forever attached to Paralympian, quote unquote, and he has that flexibility and that loyalty of his tribe that he's going to naturally develop. And that's when the whole conversation, I think, shifted the most. Was helping him realize the handshake of life is really cool. And that's about finding your sweet spot and finding your crown, right? And wearing that crown so that people can see it shine brightly on your head and know that that's what you represent and who you're here for. It'll be consistent for you now. So thank you for asking that. That was a good question, and that was a really big aha moment, turning point. Once we nailed there, everything else zoomed right in. We were kind of dancing around going, something's wrong, something's missing. We knew we were close, but we're not quite nailing it, and that was the secret. Are you part of that too, Doris?
No, I know about the program because someone wanted me to be in there, but I want to do my own stuff.
Completely alone. So how about I toss the ball to you? Have you had a chance? Would you like to introduce yourself and tell the group who you are, what you do, or what you're looking to do, please?
You are talking to me now?
Yes, Doris.
All right. I'm Doris. I live in Germany. I am German. And what I do is to make people, or I inspire people to understand how to bounce back from any loss or even tragic loss into love, appreciation, and abundance. And the last few days, I found out that I have a lot of tools, and one tool I really love, and that's constellation work. And I already started to work with that, and that makes me really happy. So I'm gonna form more and more around that part. Because if you're having this family constructions, or also in business constructions, you don't get from the point where you are if you cannot solve the problem. So you're stuck in there, and most of the time you don't even know why. And I'm trying right now to connect those two things. And yeah, I told you I have a mastermind group too. We are gonna meet on Wednesday, and we are right now talking about the avatar, the right one, and why would the avatar choose you? And yeah, I just go step by step, and I really appreciate what's coming up, and I'm very happy about that.
That's great. So tell us about this constellation work.
Well, the origin comes from a German. It's Bert Hellinger. He started with family constellation. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I told you, but I think I did. Since I went through some tragedy in my life, my mother became insane when I was 8 years old and committed suicide when I was 23. I had to manage my life a little bit different than maybe others. I know there are more tragedies than maybe my life, but my journey was a healing journey, and that's what I want to give away and say thank you to the world to hear me, and now I let them hear my voice and help people who really are looking for getting out of whatever constructions or constellations they are in.
Wonderful. Underlying family bonds and forces carried unconsciously through the generations in your family.
Yes.
Cool.
That's right. I just talked to she used to be my au pair. I just talked to her yesterday, and while we were talking, she was asking, why do I always have the same pattern over and over? And I just said, tell me a little bit about you. I mean, I know a lot from, she stayed with us 1.5 years. And she started to talk, and we found out what the real reason is, and now she's going to work on that because she lives in not in my place. But there is also you can also do that online. So that's something I have to add to my program because I did not do that so far.
The online part.
Yeah, and I just worked in a company which is our company where our children are taking over. And doing the process, it made so clear what the next steps are, and it helped my husband to understand that he just can get out of the company more and more, but just be the supportive part of the back, helping the children to really feel the strength from us behind. Of course, I am behind them too, And so we can move forward now. And it was really just, I think, maybe 20 minutes and it was all settled.
Great. Congratulations. That's big.
Thank you.
And your sons must have been excited about that too.
We talked about it. They were not in the process when I did that with my husband because the focus was on him.
Okay.
But, yes, it will be more because, I just learned today talking to an employee from us that his wife is kind of very confused right now and he has to bring her into treatment, and they have a little son with 2 years old, and I can help him. I don't know how much I can help her. I think I told you that I do coaching in our own company, so yes.
Yes, that's great. It's wonderful. God bless you. You've made good progress. I talked to you, about 2 weeks ago? I guess it might have been, roughly, and you've made a lot of progress since then. So what is your focus over the 5 days? What is your current immediate focus?
The immediate focus is get clients. I made the same mistake, I have to be perfect. I have to have my website. I have to have my social media parts and stuff like this, but that is not really the part. I have to go out there and have to show my face and my knowledge and my wisdom, and then I'm pretty sure it's going to work out.
It will. One of the things that may help you is to go back and revisit. We spoke a lot with Joe on, I believe, the first day. We were talking about looking to grow business, and one of the important steps in that journey is about asking questions. So the two benefits of asking questions are you get to using open-ended questions to have people answer you in their words about their biggest challenge, right? So you get to start becoming familiar with their words, how they say it. So we need to stop, we all do this for the most part. We need to stop sounding like us. We have our little vocabulary and our little way of our phrases and our storytelling, the way we say what we do. But the real way to connect with clients, if they're not buying from you yet, it could be awareness. It could be them not knowing exactly. They may know you and like you or even love you, but not know exactly how to buy from you, to pay you for your service or your gift, because they're not 100% clear on what that is. And often, step one is asking open-ended questions in groups or places where people, your ideal clients, are, right? Fishing where the fish are. Because two things, it helps you learn their language, so you start mirroring back to them. And the other thing it does is it helps you start building relationships. So in asking in a non-salesy, non-sharky sounding way, because you've seen the difference, some of it's kind of icky, sticky feeling, right? Some people try to be slick, but they're not real slick. It's funny. It's interesting, the whole different flavors of how some people, when they ask the question, makes you feel warm and you can't wait to start engaging in a dialogue. There's other people in those groups that literally all they do is bounce from one to one, trying to get as much free information as they can, but they're never going to step up and actually try to fix themselves and heal themselves and commit to a real interactive dialogue, because that's really what's going to move the needle, right? So ask the questions, start the dialogue. The first rounds of it, I always encourage more open-ended. And then once you start to see a pattern, and I actually encourage to make a chart of what you're asking, the phrases you're using, how you've asked the question, and ask it in several different places on different days at different times. In other words, don't just blanket all of Facebook and all your groups on the same day at the same time. Like, don't cut and paste and do it that way. But if you make a list of the top 10 places your customers may be, your ideal clients may be, because you know who they are roughly, right?
Yes.
And you can literally go down the list, and on one side it's the 10 places that they are, whether it's this name of this group, name of that group, etc., whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or your email list, things like that. And then on the other side, you have your messages, right? So the way you're asking the questions. And then I would actually have a tally sheet where you start to just collect two things. The answers to those questions, because you're going to see some patterns start to emerge. People will start sounding familiar. And you're also going to see things if nobody responds. You ever ask a question and it falls on crickets, right? Nothing. Maybe those words aren't resonating. Maybe the time of day you tried it. So this is not a one-day quickie little fix process, but it's a really great way to help you get to know your avatar better and to get to interact and start laying groundwork and start seeing what they say and how they feel. And as you're asking, you'll start to be able to enter into some dialogue with a few of them. I guarantee it. And then once you start having some recurring pattern, they use these words to describe their pain point, then you may go ahead and take it to the next level where you use either SurveyMonkey or polls in Facebook, things like that, where you can ask, you know, I'm working on a new blog, what sounds better, or I'm working on an article, what title resonates, or things like that, where you start to throw out the language. Pardon me?
Go on free session itself.
That's another place to do it. Yeah, why not? But yeah, because you want to do it, how do I say it? Places like that, or like I'm in Lisa Sasovich's training, for example, right? So in those I'll call safe places, or even here on Rock on Success, these are safe places. So you can ask the questions and say, I'm testing this out, and really want people to help you kind of nitpick through. You don't want everybody to just say, yes, that sounds great. You want to know why something sounds better than something else, right? Or you want somebody to say, Doris, I'm not really sure exactly what you mean, you know, because if one person thinks it, 100 more people, you know, one person says it, 100 more people think it, probably. So this is a good way to do your research and start to gather up, because when you have your landing page copy and your website stuff going, where you do the part that says, this is for you if you are feeling X, Y, and Z, you suffer with blah, 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 you've had enough of crying by yourself and it's time to blah, 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 you're going to know exactly the hottest hot buttons, because people have already now told you in your research how they feel, and you're going to hear those words. Or, so that's one part, and the other part is go through your testimonials and your thank you notes or conversations you have. Anytime somebody says, wow, Joe, Doris, Donna, Matthew, that's really great, you really hit the nail on the head, you made me feel this way, or I had this problem and now you solved it, or any version of them telling you what transformation you provided for them. Again, start to keep a little journal, a little log of that, because what you'll see is that there will be recurring patterns of what they see and what they feel with you.
Great, thanks.
And the words will come because they're going to give you the words. And then the words start sounding like them, and that's how you start matching up with your ideal clients faster, more authentically. It's much more easy fit. Good?
Good, thank you.
Wonderful, you're welcome. Joe, comments, questions, update?
Well, I have a question, actually.
Yes, dear.
That you mentioned you work with people of loss, and then to recover from it. And the question I have is, your focus primarily focused on the stages of grieving. I think there are 5 stages they indicate, and to accelerate moving through that, or is it more to draw them in another direction, or a combination of? Does the question make sense?
Yes. Well, my focus is easy. I focus on letting the people know whatever happens in life. If it's a loss of a person you love through a tragedy, accident, illness, suicide, or even losing your job, it's always a wake-up call for you to make you understand, look at your life and find out what you have to correct.
Okay, so it's a moving forward stage that you work with then.
Yes, I don't want to focus on the loss, because that's not going to help anyone. They're going to stay in the loss if you concentrate and go into that. I want to motivate them to say, listen, I know how you feel. It's hard. I know you might be even in hell, but I show you the way to go from hell to heaven.
So you transition to an opportunity. I get that. Nicely done. I like that.
All right. Thank you.
And I love the way you just said wake up call. I could picture you having Doris TV, wake up call TV or something like that, and talking about like how when life pivots, or I say God taps, it's one of the ways I describe it. You know, I put my head through a windshield on a sunny afternoon on Thanksgiving weekend in 1987, changed my life. God tapped. It was my wake up call, right? But wake up call could, we're going to find out what's available, but that totally has a great hook, vibe. I could see it being used as your, not motto, but, you know, part of your branding somewhere, somehow. You know, life's wake up calls and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We play with it more, but.
And find a website for that.
Pardon me?
I should try to find a website for that.
Yeah, there was just one of the websites I went to was called here, I'm going to put it in the chat. I love this thing because you can put stuff in the chat. I think it's called trademarkia.com, like trademarkia.com. I think that was one of them, where it gives you the ability, instead of just even going to GoDaddy, for example, just to see if something's available, because that's one of the fastest cheat ways I'll do it, is just look at wake up. So wake up call, let's see. All right, wake up call is taken, maybe the wake up call or your wake up call, or, you know, so you just kind of play with wakeup.call.com. I don't know, there's 1,000 ways to do it, but you play with that. But there are search engines. Your wake up call is taken, but your wake up call, even to do the ones where it goes .tv, your wake up call .tv, that's available. The wake up call. The wake up call.info. So again, in other words, play with it, but just when you said wake up call, that for me felt like a few things. It felt like the jolt that you need sometimes, that kind of, okay, it's time, right? It's, you know, it's like, okay, I've wallowed in this and it's now time, or it's, I don't know if I was expecting that, but it's time to pay attention and see it and listen. I felt a lot of different, all kind of, I think, aligning with that direction and vibration you're trying to head down. So if that gives you any help at all for now, but I would keep pecking away at that, because I like that energy. And Joe, does that make sense to you too now, when you think about which kind of where she's coming at it from in terms of the grief, loss, or tragedy? It's not the wallowing, it's the, and it's not the forgetting either, but it's the moving on, marching on. And
well, I think the answer is yes, and to explain it out as I see it, that something happened that shakes us or knocks us off our inertia. Perhaps that's the best way to say it, and not that we're prepared for it or that we want it to happen, but because it does, it's the best possible moment in our lives to move ahead and be a better person. And that's what I'm getting conceptually. And I like your approach to it, because we can easily get lost in the wallowing, justifiably so, not being critical of it. And or we can take that loss and make it meaningful for ourselves, for our future, and the people around us. And that's how I like your style, if I'm reading it correctly.
yes. And here's another way to frame it, Doris. Something like wake up call with Doris or something. I just picture you hosting a show. I don't know. I see it.
Wake up to a better world, wake up to a stronger future, a better life.
Wake up call with Doris, and you actually having an interview show, a talk show, or something. This could be a blog. It could be a platform. And this doesn't have to be the only answer, but it just feels, I picture you, the way you portray your confidence and the way you are really, we had a really deep and candid conversation, you and I really felt wonderful about it, and it made me see so much potential for you. So, and I picture you as we kind of nailed through these little particulars of growing your business and building your brand. I could totally picture you on a stage, or leading webinars, or leading interviews, or having a podcast or a blog or multiple sources of revenue, so you're free to travel the world kinds of business with a platform. And I wouldn't hesitate to put your name aligned with it blatantly.
I have my website with my name.
Just your name, though.
Not just Doris, it's my first and my maiden name, because I have a double name, but that's too long for America.
Yes.
And I shorten it to Doris, but the main site is Doris Scheidenbogen. That's my logo too.
But a lot of, yeah, so I agree with you though. When you're when you're attracting an international audience, you want something that's easy to repeat and it's not going to be misspelled as easily, something that, more common words that people will be able to attach to you and remember how to spell and say.
Well, I like, like Brendan Burchard does. He used his full name, Brendan Burchard, and then now he uses only Brendan. That's his branding now.
Like Cher. Right?
But
Beyonce, Cher.
I believe it's going to fall into place and everything is all right. I go my way. I always did, and I feel really good.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
And
Wonderful.
It helps me a lot. Thank you to all of you. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. Donna, I had you blocked on the video for a minute because it was when you were driving, it was getting me distracted. I was getting dizzy looking at the movement. But how are you, Donna? Can you talk? Do you want to talk?
Yes, actually, I pulled over, Pat. So
okay, sweetie. Thank you. Welcome to the group.
I was afraid that I was going to get into an accident or get stopped by the police. So
and we don't want that to happen.
No, even though I could take care of my own legal matters, but that's okay. I am having a Monday morning or a Monday afternoon, so I'm just moving, and I'm going to get back on my track because I got off track over the weekend. So that's where I am. I'm focused on connecting with the people that I met over the last week through networking, and that's what I'm focused on. And I'm focused on 2 accounts that I need to get in the next week. So that's my focus.
Okay, so can we dig in? So just for clarity's sake, so Donna is part of my mastermind group program. So I speak with Donna every week on a regular basis. So I'm going to be jumping in a little bit quicker. It's not her first time showing up on this call officially because I speak to her almost a couple times a week, right, Donna?
Yes.
Okay. And if you have questions about how that mastermind works and such, Donna's one of the people. Actually, Donna's the one that's in the video on the mastermind app. So you can see her talking about it, but I'm sure she's available. So Donna, thank you for confessing that you are off track and sharing that with us, because once you stop hiding it, that's step 1 to doing something about it, and I like that. That's great. So thank you. Okay. I noticed you were in the car, not at your desk when you called, though. Where are you going?
What happened? No, I have to get a few things because I have to make some stops at these clients and drop off papers and brochures and things. So I figured it was better than sitting at home. The other thing is that if I sat at home, Anna would come home and she would say, "You haven't left yet?" So I said, "I have to leave." So
hurried out the door before your daughter got home.
Yep.
So Anna's daughter is Anna is Anna's daughter. Anna is Donna's daughter, excuse me. And I have solicited her as my partner in coaching, and she helps me keep her mom going. So she's got a vested interest. Isn't that great? She's adorable.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She is 18 years old.
Yeah. So she's jumped in. She's been in the background when we were on a few coaching calls. So we pulled her onto the screen and actually engaged her and gave her permission to help her mom, which means if she came home and Donna was still sitting there not moving like she's promised, she has permission to call her mother to the carpet. Isn't that cool?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's really neat. So good. I'm glad you were scurrying and afraid of her. That's good. That is actually a very good thing.
Well, she's part of my board of directors. So she's part of my why. So I need to do that.
Absolutely. So part of the gift of moving forward, and why we move forward is staying really connected to our why and what we want for our families and ourselves as a result of the work we're doing. Because we're not working in a bubble, we're working for goals. And because Donna was very clear about wanting her daughter to be proud of her and to see her setting a role model example, and the fact that she was around, we literally engaged her with Donna's permission, of course. I'm not just dragging people's kids into this of my own volition. But I do want to address something else. So I'm proud of you for getting going. I'm proud of you for forward momentum. And here's a shift I'd like to share with you, Donna, please. I'd like you to reframe your I need to do this week mindset, because I'm repeating this. I know you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again because you need to hear it again, I think, is that the coming of our success through need has a stench about it. Because when we tell the universe we need, that doesn't honor the gift we have, and it doesn't honor the fact that you've been working hard and you deserve this, and these people they deserve your gift. They are going to benefit from what you bring to them through your services and through your counseling and through your helping them with their health insurance and such. So please, let's get the word need off the table. The only thing we need is we need to go to the potty when we really have to go. Almost shy of that, everything else is off the table, because we are working from an ownership of our gifts mindset. And we are working from a confidence mindset, and we are working from we're going to do the right things, we're going to attract the right people. It's not all going to work. We know this, but we are doing the work to build up so that we get enough no's so that the yeses come with it, because a no is a gift as well as a yes. So yes, we want more yeses, but we don't need 2 clients this week. You've been working with these people, and you've attracted these people, and you've had great conversation, and I want you to comfortably and confidently own that power and tell yourself that out loud, and repeat the meditation. You missed the beginning when we did our meditation, but I want you to, when you're not driving and all, to go back and redo that for yourself at least another 1 or 2 times, because you felt badly because you had a slow start to your morning. And now you're chasing yourself. You're chasing your tail, and you're feeling like you're playing catch up. I hear it in your voice.
Right.
And I need you to give yourself permission to let that go.
Okay.
You still it's still daylight. It's not quite 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in New Jersey. And you have a wonderful full day and a beautiful full week and Thanksgiving ahead of you. So, come from a place of gratitude and ownership for what you can accomplish. Know that people are going to be taking holiday and things like that, so make sure you don't pretend you don't know what they're doing. So it's one of the nice things about holidays like this is it gives you a chance to call up someone from the heart and say, hey, I'm really grateful for you. So Thanksgiving makes me want to tell you that and remind you of that. Oh, and by the way, what's your schedule? What's your timing? I want to make sure that I honor your family time and I don't bug you and you don't want to be bugged.
Yep.
How's that for a nice phone call?
That is a great phone call. Absolutely.
Oh, you're smiling. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Right?
Yep.
It's a wonderful way to just gently, nicely touch base, but keep moving forward. And I'll give you another tip. I just had, I have a really, really, really wonderful hot lead, someone who came and saw me speak at, she runs a huge nonprofit foundation as part of a credit union, and we just hit it off, and we've been talking and had lunch and coffee and whatever, and we were supposed to meet this afternoon, and she just called and she canceled it yesterday. And instead of getting frustrated, I said, that's no problem. We started to talk. I said, so when are we going to put the reschedule down? Because I don't want to forget it. Let's just put it down. We can always reconfirm as we get closer. But let's make sure we put it in the calendar on Monday so that I don't want to hit the cancel button on my appointment. It's a mental thing. I don't want to cancel her appointment on my Google Calendar for this afternoon. I want to send the update. So I already know that on December 11th or whatever day we pick, I didn't lose her off my hot pursuit list, because she
Okay.
just feels really good. And she's talking about having me fly to Austria to speak for a global conference. Like, it's that far
Whoa.
along. Pretty cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not about not connecting with her, and it's not about being disappointed that the call's not going to happen today. It's about, oh, no problem. I know you're busy, so let's nail this. When's going to be, when are you available so we can just send you the update? How's that for a good little trick?
That is a good little trick.
If people are important to you until they become a no, if they become a no, you're going to learn about no meaning not now, or no, it's just not the right fit, period.
Right.
But if it's a not now, if it's a not the right fit, period, you say thank you, and the if not who, then who. If not you, then who, right? Maybe it's referral. Or if you just hate the energy and there's nothing happening, politely give them a virtual hug, God bless them, and welcome, send them on their way. That's fine too. But if you feel really good, but it's just not right now, then all you need to do is say, that's great. If you're not ready, then tell me when. And if they say, I don't know, oh, after the summer, or oh, after the holiday, well, you go, great. January is the 3rd better, or the 2nd, or the 5th?
Yep. Yep.
Right? Even if it's whenever it is. So if you're still feeling warm and good about them, move with them. Honor what they've said, but get it on the calendar. The calendar is your friend. And because then you stop chasing, how do I say this? As we're growing our businesses, what we don't want to have to do is keep starting over and building new relationships from scratch, because we've never done a good job of following up the momentum we've built with people we liked in the first place. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
So don't let good people fall off your calendar. Get them in your database, and Don and I have been working on this, so I'm just repeating it out loud for everyone else. Get them into your database. Have something, an email system in place where you can communicate not just sales pitch and sales messages, but nice, timely, you can send a nice thank you or a gratitude message. I'm sure they would be welcoming that.
Right.
Or a trick or a tip or a tool or something valuable to them. Or I saw this article, I thought it would help your assistant because she mentioned having her kid had chicken pox. Here's a anti-itch remedies. I don't know. Whatever, something personal or something useful, things like that. Don't lose people off your list that felt good. Make a habit of keeping them on a schedule with you and actually together.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense to everybody else?
Yes.
Okay. Donna, what's your to-do list, your action items?
My action items?
Uh-huh.
You mean for today?
Yep.
For today? Okay. I am actually, that's where I'm on my way. I'm going to send a couple of Thanksgiving cards to wish a couple of people happy Thanksgiving, and that I was very glad to have met them, just so I can continue that ongoing connection with them. Okay. And then I'm going to drop off a box of candy with my papers with my client. So I know that we're probably not going to meet this week, but it's just, I'm grateful to have met you, and we're in the process of doing business, and happy Thanksgiving kind of thing. So it's just to keep the momentum going, but also to keep that human connection.
Very good.
Not the sales. When are we going to get that call together? When am I coming back to enroll you guys? It's just, this is a tough week, and I don't want to, I want to keep things open-ended, but I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be salesy.
You want a really good holiday tip, everybody?
Yes.
This is a great holiday tip.
Sure.
If there's something that is part of your recipe for success, get it? One of the nice ways to touch base with people and to have a follow-up that's very friendly is that if you share a recipe, if it's the holiday, like let's say they're diabetic and they need a healthy recipe or something, or there's something that you make that's kind of foolproof, and every time you get invited to a holiday party, everybody wants you to bring X. Like I get asked to do cheesecake, and I don't even really eat cheesecake because I'm not eating dairy right now, but everybody loves my cheesecake. So I will tend to use the cheesecake thing, are you looking for a great dessert recipe? If you try this, it's usually a home run. Let me know what you think, or whatever. So if you share a recipe,
Right.
or ask them for a recipe. What kind of stuff does your family like to do? Oh, I'm always looking for new ideas. Let them give you one of theirs
Mhm.
and make it. And then when holiday's over next week, say, oh, by the way, they were licking the plate clean, or, whatever.
Right.
Or I wonder if I missed something. Maybe I was supposed to add butter and I forgot, or, I don't know, whatever. But the point is, have a human element tied to the holiday, share something around the holiday that gives you that next moment to also follow up. How did you like it? What was that? Right? And recipes are kind of a good one, or a decorating idea, or an easy tip for not trashing your, if they're cooking the holiday, how to not trash your stove. I don't know. I'm just giving you kind of ideas. But like I use cheesecake.
Okay, I'm going to expect one of those cheesecakes on my birthday.
And we just missed your birthday just passed, but we'll have to do. You know what I'll do? December 29th.
Nah, you have a lot of things to do. We'll talk about it. Don't
All
worry.
right, sounds good. Does that help you guys?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
tomorrow is day 5. I hope to see you all back here at noon. I will have some announcements. We will be having a master class coming up. And I just was playing around with the date and time. I was thinking about doing it this Friday at noon. Does that work for you guys, by the way? I do an intensive. I want to do like an hour, hour and a half, a master class.
I'll be with family. I can find a closet. It would work for me to have privacy. I can work it.
Doris?
It depends on the time.
Noon. It would be noon. I was just thinking about maybe noon Eastern. You're in Germany. How many hours ahead are you now? It's 1 o'clock Eastern time. 6?
Yes. So this time is just fine for me. 6 o'clock is perfect.
And Matthew, because Matthew's in California, so he's on the other end. So we got 9 hours spread between from you to Matthew. So I'm trying to be courteous. It's impossible to get everybody because the Australian peeps, it's midnight for them. But I'm doing the best I can.
I can join early. I can join later. Doesn't matter.
All right. I'm kind of leaning toward doing a master class on Friday at noon. And I may have it recorded anyway. And then we're going to have some stuff going on for over the weekend and things. All right. I appreciate you. I thank you for joining. And I look forward to checking in with you guys tomorrow at noon. Day 5.
Okay, so long, Pat.
Thank
God,
you, Pinky.
Have a great
You're
day.
awesome.
Bye.
Wonderful.
Bye.
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 See you.